Okay, so I'm not gonna promise that this is the most exciting video in the world, but I thought you might like to see what I mean when I say I'm matching the weenies, and this is what I've been doing for the last 4 days. So first off, I start out with a color that needs to be matched, all the same color. And what I'm going to do first is I just kind of separate them out into general sizes. So I'm going to pick out the smallest ones. And actually this particular color, I already matched some of the pairs. All the ones I needed for the sets, and I think I needed 21 pairs or something of this color. So these are the ones that are left over, but I still haven't matched all of them, so I'll just be able to show you. So I've got my sort of small ones lined up. I'm just picking out the large ones. And this part of the process doesn't have to be exact. I'm just sort of generally separating them out so it makes it a bit easier. And then what I'm going to do next is make a line up with all of them. And when they're in the lines, it's a lot easier to sort of compare the sizes visually, so that's why I do that. And I'm just gonna grab a mandrel and straighten these out into lines. Make everything nice and organized. Ooh, it's hot in here today. I'm kind of beating the heat as I organize my weenies and get them all ready to ship out. And I'm nearing the end, so it's kind of an exciting day. Feeling good about that. It's been lots of work, but fun work too. Okay, so now I've got my weenies just sort of generally organized in size. I'm just gonna check to make sure the camera is still on the weenies. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I basically start with the first weenie and I take them down the line looking for a mate, and because the weenies are sort of generally organized in size, then it's a bit easier to tell whether another one is close in size or not, just because they're a little organized already. And this one looks like it doesn't have a mate anywhere, so I just put it off to the side and move on to the next one. And this looks like it might be a match. So what I do when I think I might have a match is I hold them up side by side, and that's really the only way to tell. Because when they're laying down flat, you can't tell exactly. They need to be matched in width and in the diameter as well, and in the shape. Some of them are kind of a more roundy shape and some are a more donut shape, and when I hold these two up side by side, I can tell that they don't match. This one on the right is a bit bigger, so I'm going to put it back and I'm going to keep going with this other one, looking for one that's closer in size. This one like a possibility. And if I think they might be a match, then what I do is I put them on a mandrel and I'm just comparing size and shape, and I also give them a spin around. So when I do that, I'm inspecting them. I want to see if there are any flaws, like from time to time, if a color goes in too hot and it touches the kiln floor, then it might have a little sort of melty mark on it, and that would be discarded if I see that. And I'm checking for balance. I want them to spin so that they're perfectly centered around the hole, and if it's not balanced, then it's garbage. So those ones again they're closer but not quite good enough. Another thing I'm looking for when I'm matching is coloration. So a lot of the colors have some variation because they're handmade. So I also want to check to make sure that the two that I've chosen as mates are pretty close in coloration. So these two, the coloration's pretty different. One of them's a little more yellow tone and one of them's a little more pink tone, so they're not the same size, but I wouldn't match those up because of the color. So we're still going down the line here. So you can see that the match rate is pretty low. There are a lot of bead makers who probably can do a match right while they're at the torch, but I am definitely not one of those bead makers. I'm sure with practice it gets easier, but I've made thousands of weenies now, and my strategy is still to make lots, more than I think I need, and try and match them up that way afterwards. These ones look pretty good together. In the end, once I've got all my pairs selected, like once I have my 21 pairs of these, then I might take another look at them and decide it's not good enough, but these actually look pretty good, so I'm going to leave those together as a pair. So that's how you match a weenie, and if I was looking for 21 pairs of weenies, then actually, well, maybe. I'm just trying to decide whether they look good enough. The matching process is a very sort of human thing. Obviously, I'm not a machine, so they're not going to be absolutely identical in size to like the exact 1/10 of a millimeter or something, but they have to look visually the same to me, so they're not perfect, but pretty close. So anyway, I was saying if I need about 21 pairs, I make probably about 10 mandrels full of that color, and on each mandrel I can make between 10 and 12 weenies, so that would give me enough. Anyway, that's how you match a weenie. Happy Friday, guys.